Happy Wednesday. I hope you've had a great week. We're at the midway point, which means we've almost made it through the week. Yay. Anyway, I am coming on here today a little uncomfortable because I have been thinking the past couple of days, and it has been kind of resurfacing, and that is this. Because of my childhood wounding, I spent 15 years in a toxic marriage where I was made to feel small and a lot of guilt and shame from past mistakes, even my childhood, because those things were used against me as a form of manipulation. See, if someone you love is bringing up vulnerabilities that you have brought up to them in order to manipulate you, it's not love, it's control. And I have a recording of some of the most vile things that I've ever heard, not only about myself, but about my family. And this occurred about the time I decided that it was time to leave that relationship because it was beginning to become physical. And I was told that if I left, that I would never amount to anything, and that my children's lives would be destroyed. And I have to be honest, there were times that I had heard that, and because my children were younger, I stayed. And there were times where he would change, but things would always go back to the way they were. But the truth of the matter was, he was able to manipulate me because I didn't know my own worth and I didn't love myself. And then once I got out of that relationship, I met someone else, and I ended up living with that person for 3 years until the relationship imploded. And what I haven't shared is I had to live there for 4 months while I was getting things in order to get my own place, because we had been together, things were kind of shared, and I spent a lot of money and invested a lot of time in that person. And unbeknownst to me, everything was a lie, because the second everything imploded and I was there for that 4 months, I found out a bunch of different lies, and I was accused of things that were not true, and was made out like I was having a favor done for me by me being allowed to stay there. But the thing about it was, I wasn't even there a month before I started hearing things, and I found out that that person was seeing someone else and lying about it and smearing my name around to others. And I was in a very, very broken and vulnerable state at that time, because I was recovering from addiction and from my own toxicity. Now don't get me wrong, I played my role. I had my own faults, but that was because I was looking outside of myself, and so I would excuse behaviors. I would excuse the lies. I would excuse the silent treatment. I would justify their behaviors because I had to justify all of the stuff within me that I was allowing to happen. And a lot of that stemmed from childhood. Because of the things that happened at childhood, I had to excuse it, and I took on a victim mentality. And out of that, I let people know what my triggers were because I thought I could trust them. And those triggers were used against me. And so what I'm really trying to say here is, when we are coming from a wounded place and we have a partner who is also coming from a wounded place, because people don't manipulate and lie unless they have wounds that they don't want to confront. So in order for them to avoid their woundings, they wound you. And in order for you to avoid dealing with your own wounding, then you react in kind. And so then you get this cyclical cycle of toxicity until someone jumps off of the hamster wheel. I chose to jump off the hamster wheel and heal, but I didn't realize what was really going on until I started healing myself. That's why it's so important for you to heal and learn to love yourself, so you know if you have a boundary set up and someone's knocking it down, you're not excusing it. You're understanding that, hey, this is not right, and this is not what I deserve. So I hope that made sense. I'm trying to explain it in the best way I can, but I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures. Having a hard time talking today, but just as some encouragement, just know if you are made to feel less than or guilty or shamed in a relationship, that's not coming from a place of love, but you first have to find the love within you. So the first verse I'm going to read is 1 Peter 2:9. But you are chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into your wonderful light. See, you have to find your own light, and then you will attract the same kind of light towards you instead of darkness feeding darkness. The next one is Romans 8:37. No, in all things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. You're loved. Never forget that. And I urge you, find that love within you so you can have it reflected back. I'm going to leave it right there. And I just want you to know that you are important. You are worthy. You are loved. You got this. And if no one else has told you today, I love you.